Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. As a second group, we would like to present our presentation about the origin of drama or the history of drama. First, I would like to introduce our members. First of all, my name is Naia Dininatasya, and there are Yuki Azzahra, Malikah Narjis, and Ningsih Theresia. So, that's it. Keep on watching. Okay, the first is neoclassicism. Neoclassical principles in 18th century support ancient Greece and Rome's ideals, focusing on order, reason, and structure, seeking a balance between reason and emotion. The second is comedy and satire. In 18th century, comedy and satire was essential tools for playwrights to explore and to criticize their social or society, political, and cultural aspects, so they entertain the audiences while providing thought-provoking criticism of the world around them. The third is sentimental comedy. In 18th century, sentimental comedy appeared as a reaction to the Restoration light-hearted comedy of manners. It replaced humor with sadness and pathetic situations, only focusing on moral lessons. So the writers introducing middle-class characters, and they removed genius comedy from English stage, promoting moral lessons through serious plays. The fourth is the emergence of female playwrights. In the 18th century, female playwrights like Susanna Sunliver and Hannah Cowley gained recognition of their works. Their plays often explored themes related to women's rights and societal expectations. The fifth is the influence of French drama. The French classical styles influenced the structure and themes of many plays that written during this period. The sixth is the Licensing Act of 1737. In England, the Licensing Act of 1737 applied censorship in plays, requiring all new plays to be approved by the Lord Chamberlain before they could be performed. The primary purpose of this act was stricter government control and censorship over theatrical productions. The last is theatrical innovations. The 18th century saw significant theatrical innovations that transformed the way plays were staged and experienced by the audiences, including the use of candle and oil lamps, gas lighting, and advancement in actor acting by focusing on gesture and expressions. Okay, now we will move to the notable figures who played significant roles in 18th century drama. The first is John Gay. John Gay was a well-known 18th century playwright for The Beggar's Opera in 1787, a groundbreaking work in the ballad opera genre. John Gay's The Beggar's Opera is a significant work in 18th century drama because it challenged the conventions or the agreement of traditional opera, introduced a new form of entertainment through ballad opera, and used humor and satire to address social and political issues of the time. The last is Richard Steele. Richard Steele, a well-known figure in 18th century drama, co-founded The Tatler and The Spectator, both of which promoted a moralistic tone in literature and drama. His essay and advocacy for virtuous themes had a significant influence on public opinion and theater, and his plays contributed significantly to the development of English theater in the early 18th century.
Hello, my name is Yuki Azzahra, and now let's talk about the Romantic period in drama. The Romantic period in drama is spanning from 1780 to 1830, was a transformative era for theatrical world, and during this time, dramatic works took on a new dimension, such as embracing heightened emotion, individualism, and a critical lens on social norms. And today, we explore the era and the contribution of the two exceptional playwrights, Richard Brinsley Sheridan and Oliver Goldsmith. The next is a key playwright and their influence. The first one is Oliver Goldsmith. Oliver Goldsmith left an indelible mark or permanent impression on romantic drama through his work like She Stoops to Conquer and The Vicar of Wakefield. And his plays were a unique blend of humor, sentimentality, and a rural life, and all of which were key themes in the Romantic era. And Goldsmith's masterpiece continue to resonate with audiences and inspire writers to this day. Okay, now let's turn our attention to Richard Brinsley Sheridan. His theatrical brilliance shines through plays like School for Scandal and The Rivals, and these works were celebrated of their sharp wit, biting satire, and their insightful commentary on the manners and hypocrisies of the society of their time. And Brinsley's impact on the development of romantic drama remains palpable in the modern theater. However, both Oliver Goldsmith and Richard Brinsley Sheridan played pivotal roles in shaping the course of romantic drama, and their works continue to be studied, performed, and celebrated today of their enduring contribution on the world of theater.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now it's my turn to tell the High Victorian about the drama and the melodrama. The first one is called named Gerald. He achieved a success in the theater with A Black-Eyed Susan in 1829, and then he also mastered a special brand in Victorian humor in a series that are called Mrs. Coulter Certain Lectures in 1845 for Punch magazines, to which he was a regular contributor, and more plays with Black-Eyed Susan in the theme, but he was less successful because of his too ambitious about the pushing comedy genre. And then, as a professional journalism, he wrote much bittersweet about his personal life, and then which appeared in a book form that called Certain Lectures in 1846 and were regularly printed. The second is Diane Bocquecot. The original name is Dionysius Lardner Boursiquet. He born on 26 December and died in September 18th in New York City. An Irish-American playwright and an actor major influenced the form and the content of American drama. And he educated in England, Bocquecot began acting in 1837, and in 1840 he submitted his first play to MMA first dress at Covent Garden. It was rejected, and then next one it is a second play in a London Assurance in 1841, which foreshadowed in the modern social drama. And the other notable early plays were Old Hat and Young Hearts in 1844, and the Corsican Brothers in 1852. His play, The Poor of New York, based on the panics of 1837 and 1857, had a long run at Wallack's Theatre in 1857. For example, The Poor of Liverpool, The Octoroon or Life of Luciana in 1859, calls on a cessation with an implied attack on slavery. Bokeh Cole and his wife joined Laura Keene's theatre in 1860, Irish plays, and the Colleen, born in 1860, Ara Napoleon in 1864, the Odoed in 1873, and the Chevron in 1874. Returning to London in 1862, he provided Joseph Jefferson with a successful adaptation of Rip Van Winkle in 1865. In 1872, Bokeh Cole returned to the United States, where he remained, except for a trip for Australia that resulted in his third marriage. Among his associates in 1870s was the young David Belasco. At the time of his death, he was poorly paid teacher of acting in New York City. And about 150 plays are credited to Bokeh Cole because his fun fact, his plagiarism, he collided many drama from the England and the foreign country. And so the credit to Bokeh Cole, who is both writer and the actor, raised in the stage arrangement from the caricature or to the character. To the American drama, he brought a careful construction and a keen observation and recording of the details. And for the development of drama in both Europe and America. And the third is Thomas William Robertson. He was born on 9 January in 1829, Newark-on-Trent, Nottinghamshire, and died on 3rd February in 1871 in London. British playwright whose realistic social comedies and poetry, who worked as a producer, director, helped establish the late of 19th century revival of drama in England. Robertson in 1848 moved to London to become an actor. In 1854, he was inducted as a promoter at the Elysium Theatre by the MMA Freshries in enterprising and important manager. And it was perfect when he was staging of a comedy. After his marriage in 1856, Robertson gradually abandoned acting for writing. Some of his adaptations and translations had already been produced. And in 1861, an act farce called The Canton, his first original play, was staged. From 1855 to 1870, a number of plays produced by Mary and Squire Bancroft made Robertson famous, which is the Society, the Hours, the Caste, and Plays in School, and the MP, the Board, the themes that suggest by the titles are merely touched upon. His significant influence over the development of English theatre during the second half of 19th century. And the last one that I tell about is Charles Reid, because it is part one. The rest is for Ningsih. And the last one is Charles Reid. He was born in 8 June in 1914 near Epsom, and Oxfordshire, Eng, and died in 11 April 1884 in London. He was an English writer whose novels attacked and passionate education and love research.
I'll tell you the part of High Victorian that started with William Wilkie Collins. William Wilkie Collins was born January 8, 1822, London, England, and died September 22, 1889, London. Collins is English sensation novelist, early master of the mystery story, and pioneer of detective fiction. His first published work was a memoir to his father, who died in 1847, called Memoirs of the Life of William Collins, S.R.A. 1848. His fiction followed shortly after Antonina or the Fall of Rome, 1850, and Basil, 1852, a highly colored tale of seduction and vengeance with a contemporary middle-class setting and passages of uncompromising realism. In 1851, he began an association with Dickens that exerted a formative influence of his career. Under Dickens' influence, Collins developed a talent for characterization, humor, and popular success. Collins began contributing serials to Dickens' periodical household words, and his first major work, The Woman in White, 1860, a master of intricate plot construction and ingenious narrative technique. Collins turned in his later career from sensation fiction to fiction with a purpose, attacking the marriage laws in Man and Wife, 1870, and vivisection in Heart and Science, 1893. The next is George William MacArthur Reynolds. Reynolds was born 23 July 1814 until died 20 June 1879. Reynolds was a British fiction writer and journalist. He was a prolific writer of popular fiction, starting from The Youthful Impostor, published in 1835, which was then republished later as The Parasite or The Youth's Career of Crime. His best-known work was the long-running serial The Mysteries of London, 1844, which borrowed liberally concept from Eugène Sue, Les Mystères de Paris, or The Mysteries of Paris. The Mysteries of London and its even lengthier sequel, The Mysteries of the Court of London, are considered to be among the seminal works of the Victorian urban mystery genre, a style of sensational fiction which adapts elements of Gothic novels. With their haunted castles, innocent noble damsels in distress, and nefarious villains, to produce stories which instead emphasize the poverty, crime, and violence of a great metropolis, complete with detailed and often sympathetic description of the lives of the lower class lawbreakers and extensive glossaries of thieves' camp, all interwoven with a frank sexuality not usually found in popular fiction of the time. And the last is Mary Elizabeth Braddon. Braddon was born October 1837, London, England, until died February 1915, Richmond, Surrey. Braddon is English novelist whose Lady Adelaide's Secret, 1862, was the most successful of the sensation novels of the 1860s. Educated at home, Braddon published her first novel, The Trail of the Serpent, in 1861. In the same year, appeared Garibaldi and Other Poems, a volume of spirited verse. In 1862, her reputation as a novelist was made by the success of Lady Audley's Secret. A three-volume novel, it told a lurid story of crime in high society, yet it managed not to transgress the Victorian bounds of propriety. She wrote it at the request of John Maxwell, a publisher with whom she was living. She married him in 1874 on the death of his first wife, who had previously been confined to a mental hospital. Okay, I think that's perfectly enough. I hope you can learn from this video. Thank you for watching.